Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Today's presenter is Shawn Matthews. Now, I'll just tell you a little bit about Shawn first. So Shawn is a women's counsellor and coach who assists to reclaim their time, voice, values, and vision. In the process, create love, leadership, and happiness throughout their lives. She has an extensive knowledge on the human behaviours and science. She is an active counsellor, however, has also a background working with children and their development, plus was once a travel agent. She now has a podcast called The Real Deal, where she interviews businesswomen and men all over the world. Shawn has a passion for education, culture, and assisting others to see what they are truly worth.
Being your own best friend is the most important form of self-love. Who would agree with that? Raise your hands. Yep, some of you might think it is, some of you might not, but today we are going to talk about your self-love in different areas of your life and how it affects your business and your personal relationships. So what relationship do you have with yourself? Is it loving? Is it secure? Do you feel safe? Do you trust yourself? Can you openly say that you have a positive relationship with yourself? Are you happy? Are you committed? Are you confident? And are you willing to make changes to become happy, healthy, and heard? So I'm going to go through some steps. Now, all of you would have heard self-talk, positive self-talk, negative self-talk. So the first step in having a loving relationship with yourself is to speak kindly to yourself. Showing love and appreciation for yourself gives you more space and time for others. But actually, how do we do this? And this is a big question that I get with clients and friends, even family members. Well, it's discipline, practice, and guidance. Some of the things that I do with clients is a practice, which is what you see below there on the screen. If you'd like to I'd invite you to close your eyes and get involved with this practice. I am sustained by love and nothing else. Every problem is resolved. I put my faith and trust in love. If I do not love, I punish myself. I am sustained by love. I am safe. Love is trustworthy. Okay, you can open your eyes. How does that feel for everyone? So, types of self-care and self-love. Now, this one is eating healthy with flexible options, increase what you are grateful for, sleep, have times of solitude, and setting boundaries, which is one of my favorites. Who here has had some issues with setting boundaries with people and loved ones? Yeah, it can be a challenge. So what is self-care? And why is it important? Well, it improves your overall well-being, reduces stress, gives mental clarity, decreases chances of disease, increases your self-confidence. I love this quote. It's something that has come into my sphere a lot in practice and in life. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Carl Jung. So this one, eating healthy with flexible options. What does this actually mean? Well, you can eat fruits and vegetables, meats, and sometimes, but not too much meat, more fish and chicken options. And then you have your sometimes foods, which is, you can eat them guilt-free. that are cake, ice cream, or your special treat that you go through. So hot chips could be. But how can eating well help your mental health? You can set yourself up for less mood swings, you have a happier outlook, and you have improvement in your ability to focus, which is huge in a business setting. Now, I'm not going to read all of this, but eating disorders are one of the biggest problems that I face in mental health. And I have researched this a lot. I'm sure that a lot of you know of bulimia or binge eating, and people have more energy if they don't eat. So mental health symptoms can also emerge from this condition. People with eating disorders may become more withdrawn and they avoid people or activities that they enjoy. That can cause, again, stress and anxiety. Now, the next one is gratitude is awareness. So how many of you here practice gratitude in every moment? Oh, Paul, wow. Amazing. Because that can be quite challenging for a lot of people, that gratitude in every moment, because we get so busy in doing things and we really want to just sit back and realize that we're really grateful to be alive. That really helps us and our mood. Sleep is the next one. We all know that sleep is very important for us, but why is it that most people have problems sleeping? Well, number one, overthinking, mind ticking over, stress, anxiety, and worrying about the future rather than being in the present moment. So what are some other reasons you don't sleep? Would anyone like to say anything?
I know for me, one of the things is the temperature.
The temperature, how hot it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that can cause not much good sleep, which is huge here on the Queensland at the moment. Anyone else?
Eating too late and screen time.
Eating too late, did you say?
And screen time, yeah.
And screen time, yes, that's a good point, Dan. I'm going to touch on that. Screen time is a really big one. Thank you for sharing.
Kids as well.
Kids, yes, another one. Small kids that keep you up at night. So alternative ways to help you sleep and stay asleep is meditation, but sometimes meditation is not for everyone. Talk to your partner, friend, family member before bed, eating healthy, exercising regularly, turn off your devices like Dan said, an hour before bed. Stop watching the news before bed, read something that you love, and write in a journal about your day. And of course, seek professional help about your worries. So times of solitude. Decide in a time frame. Everyone has their own time frame depending on the situation. So prepare it rather than leaving it to fate. A lot of us would say, okay, I'm going to have alone time, but it really, in reality, as business owners and entrepreneurs, it probably doesn't happen because we're always working. So it's good to plan these things. Choose your location. This could be helpful for distractions, and explain your intentions to your loved ones because they will respect you on taking care of yourself. Have a think about what brings you joy and satisfaction. Now, setting healthy boundaries. Why are boundaries useful? Useful. I'll tell you, boundaries is the biggest thing that I've seen and people have tried to overcome for years. But the first one is to identify your core values. Set up and communicate with others on what your needs are. Become clear and confident on what you want to establish, and establish how to say no. Establishing how to say no will give you more time and space for the things that you value the most. Decide how you deal with different situations, and then you can develop a healthy respect for yourself. Therefore, other people respect you as well. And the last one, you can be in charge of your own choices. A lot of people out there think that they're not in charge of their choices. It's COVID this, it's whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you are in charge of your own choices. So to summarize, you reconnect with who you are, connect with self, respect yourself, be easy on yourself, clear your mind, declutter different areas of your mind. For example, toxic relationships, be creative, time away from technology, and rekindle friendships. Thank you everyone for listening.
Awesome presentation, Shawn. Now, does anyone have any questions for Shawn? Some of you inquiring minds, come on, let them up. Well, someone must have. I mean, I have one, for example. So I guess I have a situation where I'm up all night. Josh will know this, right, Joshua? Because Josh satellites from the US as well. I'm doing a lot of my work in the US, but I can't see any way of actually getting around upsetting my circadian rhythms, because I'm waking up at 2 o'clock, I'm doing an hour meeting and then trying to get back to sleep. And it's kind of like, apart from having the nana nap during the day, it's just, I'm constantly playing catch up with my tiredness.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Terry, what was your exact question then? How can you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, I've read about it, and I can't find any way of doing. It's just my life. So, but if you have any tips, I'm quite open to them.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a family at home? Or are you living on your own? Do you have a lot of space?
No, I have a mother, which is my wife, right? Because I'm her kid.
Yes.
Apparently, that's what us guys are, and a staffy, and that's it. So no, I'm lucky. Well, not lucky, I guess. In some ways, I'm lucky. I guess some
Okay.
parents would say you're lucky, but yeah, I don't have any children.
Well, I would say in your circumstance, because you are a busy business owner, to just sit back and maybe journal a few things that are going on in your mind and how you can structure exactly what you want to go throughout the day. I mean, it's easier said than done, but sometimes things come in when you least expect it, and then that goes by the wayside.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I do.
So structuring it throughout your day and having, the 8 hours in the day, say you work 8 hours, just putting it in small increments and seeing exactly what you need to do and what's the priority.
Yeah, good advice. Thank you.
No, and nana naps are good.
I have struggles with switching off, because my TV in my bedroom and my it's actually my computer. Actually, I've got computers in literally every room, and they stay on because they're my alarms to get up in the morning. So how do you manage that? Because basically my bedroom computer stays on through the night, and I do watch TV before bed. It's my way of shutting down after a long day of work. But yeah, I can't really switch off my devices. Like, how would you manage that? Because if my devices weren't on, I wouldn't get up in the morning, because they're my alarms.
They're your alarm. So is your TV your alarm?
Well, my TV is actually a computer, so I use my TVs as computers, basically.
Oh, okay. Okay. Have you ever tried reading at night? Like turning off the device just for 10, 15 minutes?
I'm not really a reader, to be honest. I'm a watcher.
You're a watcher?
I'm
Okay.
definitely a watcher.
Okay. So it really, yeah, go ahead.
Reading just doesn't do anything for me. Reading books is not really my jam, if that makes sense.
Okay. Right. So it's really what works for you the best, and just
But
try
I
and
find, I definitely find that I don't go to bed as early as I should because my computer's on, but I can't turn it off because that's my alarm to get up in the morning. So I feel like
Oh, okay.
Like, is there any ways that you would suggest other than
Yeah, there's a lot of things
a
like
physical alarm other than not using my computer as an alarm, maybe getting an actual physical one.
yeah, yeah. That was exactly what I was going to suggest, is getting the old school alarms.
Yeah.
And buying one. You can get them at the cheap shops, and it will work just as well as your phone. Just that can just be number one. But maybe we can have a chat and we can talk more about different strategies.
Also, my phone literally is on 24/7, so that's another thing as well. So switching off.
Okay.
If I'm not watching something on my computer, I'm on my phone. So switching off is difficult. So
It is difficult, and it's difficult for a lot of business owners. So why don't we have a chat in the one-on-ones, whoever's doing the one-on-ones, and we can go through that.
Great idea, Shawn. Great. I think that's a problem with a lot of us, you know, that sometimes we wouldn't care to admit it, but we're checking emails in the middle of the night and looking at our phones, and we hear a bing. Oh my God, someone's liked one of my posts or something. We're in there looking at it, and I guess that's just living in a contemporary world. Okay, let's, any other questions just before we go?
Alan looks like he has one.
Yep, I've got one.
Go.
Shawn, just thanks for that presentation. That really resonates with what I do, which I love. You're doing all the right things. That's my main point. Do you have any impact stories that you can share of what your advice or coaching has helped someone achieve?
Oh, yes, of course. So last year I had a lady that always was on their technology constantly. She couldn't switch off at all. And I just went through different strategies with her and did step by step. So each session we learned and grew together as she learned the boundaries of what she needed for herself. So again, everyone's different, and everyone has different businesses and different lives. So it all depends on the person that's sitting in front of me and how I acknowledge them and go through what they need to go through.
Awesome. Are you happy with that answer?
If you can go into a little bit more detail as to like how she was before and how she is now, like have you had a follow up with her as to now she's the most rested and high performing person ever?
Yeah, I wouldn't say she's high performing because she was never really like that to begin with. But I would say she is one of the ladies that gave me a testimonial, and she was very stressed, anxious, and she was just uptight, and she didn't know how to turn off anything. She didn't know how to say no to her bosses when she really needed that support. And at the end of the sessions, we really understood the value of her value in taking care of herself and having those times of solitude. And she was happy with that. I actually worked with her for about 3.5 months.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the question.